watching Cape Media News. I'm Gabrielle Rawson. I'm here today with newly elected Barnstable County Commissioner Sheila Lyons, who actually served 2 previous terms as Barnstable County Commissioner from 2008 to 2016. Sheila, welcome to the show and congrats on getting elected again.
Thank you. It's a pleasure to be here. Thank you for asking me.
It was a very tight race, as many people know, on November 3rd. You and Mark Forrest will serve alongside Chairman Ron Bergstrom, whose term ends in 2022. Now, the Barnstable County Commission is a branch of government, county government, but for those who don't know what the county commissioner does, could you explain a little bit more about what you guys do?
Yes, a lot of people don't understand the county government, especially when they've moved here from other states that have very vibrant, hefty county governments. I lived in one when I lived in Maryland, and the administrator then took over the hospitals and the fire and the police and that sort of thing. Our system here in New England, those roles were diminishing. And, back in 1989, Weld felt that the counties were no longer needed. They were really just geographical areas that were defined from colonial days around court systems. So some very visionary people, I'm sure many came from Falmouth and Barnstable and other places, but they felt that it was a great opportunity under Home Rule Charter to re-establish the county under a purpose. And that purpose is really to be able to invest, collect money, have the powers invested in us of the Mass General Law, but to also execute policies that are regional in view, that impact towns beyond the town boundaries. So such as wastewater issues, we have public health issues now, homelessness, housing. Those are issues that are shared by all towns, different degrees, but they are shared interests. And for towns such as, for one town on Cape Cod to go alone, even a town the size of Barnstable or Falmouth, and say, we here in Barnstable need $100 million for this and go forward before either the state or federal governments, it's not as much SWAT as if you say, we the citizens of Cape Cod, or Barnstable County, which is all of Cape Cod. For anybody who doesn't understand, it's the 15 towns, that you have one voice, and we have a much better, and if you're fixing a problem such as an environmental problem in one town and it's not being addressed in others, you're throwing money away because water flows beyond boundaries, coastal impacts, don't know which town they're crushing on. So these are things that we are to gather our experts in the area of our own departments, and we have some very, very talented people in our departments, and those stakeholders of the different organizations and citizens that are interested. We gather them together and find out, build a collaboration, come to a consensus, and go forward with one voice. And we set the policy.
Thank you so much for that great explanation of what you guys do. And obviously I should ask you, you did serve in this position in the past. Why was it important for you to run again?
Well, it does take a time to actually understand how it all functions. And I think a lot of people, even there now, don't understand all of the functioning. But as I started going, as I was in my second term, you really realize that if you have consensus on the board, you can do a lot of things. And it does have some, there's the ability to create good change if we're all walking in the same direction. And when I was looking at the candidates and I was looking at the conditions we were in, I jumped in just as COVID was starting, and Mary Pat Flynn had just stepped down, and I didn't want to, nobody was sure about that. So I kind of came in late, but I just felt that I was the person that understood how this county functioned, that there were opportunities here now that we don't want to lose with time. And I just felt that I had a wealth of experience and knowledge to bring with me and help the other 2 commissioners and work with them.
So tell me a little bit, what issues do you plan to address during your next upcoming term, which starts on January 4th, 2021?
Well, you know, when I was there for 8 years, I was known as Miss Wastewater, even to Speaker DeLeo, as I would come and attack him in halls or different meetings and say, you know, you were a selectman once, you have to come and help us, because he had to deal with the Boston water system.
Mm.
And when I learned that, I just knew there was a kindred soul there in the State House. But so wastewater is a huge problem. Our drinking water and our ponds, those are things that are being worked on, need to be, our homeless situation. But the COVID has really brought things up that were unfinished with the county, such as Open Cape. When I was first pushing Open Cape back to even 2008 was their efforts, I was looking at it as an economic assist. You know, people could work from home. You weren't adding to your footprint if you could work from home. You're not driving back and forth. For people who lack transportation on the Outer Cape, it was a good thing for them to have in that regard. And now we realize that it is so much more important in a period such as COVID, where people connect to their family members through Zoom and other types of media outlets. And school and work. People have not been able to go, and they would not be able to continue working from home, and their children cannot continue being educated if they don't have this. So it is a critical need. Our public health system needs, and I see that the county is picking up, you know, Jack must have been listening on the trail there as we were all talking during the campaign, but right now, we are going to be putting in to be able to test on COVID. I think that we need to coordinate with the community centers, health centers, and even beef up our own public health nurses to be able to go into schools or senior centers and assist. Especially, I'd like to see us be more involved with this vaccine rollout as well. I think that we could play an integral part in that. So things like that, and you know, we're in a bad place as far as our feelings about each other. I think that the Human Rights Commission can be beefed up a little bit and help bring people together without creating us against you and you're this and I'm that. Let's just start having conversations and bring out civic education and civic cooperation more. So I'd like to be able to talk with the Human Rights Commission on that and really give them the monetary resources. And we have a police academy. We can have an impact there. That's a positive one. So there's a lot of things that are now new opportunities that even if you talked about it 10 years ago, you were like, get out of here. But people are more open and see the need. So it's kind of an exciting time.
It sounds like there's a lot of work to do.
Yes, there is.
If people want to learn more, how can they learn more either about Barnstable County Commission or you yourself?
Well, I do encourage people to go to the barnstablecounty.org website and check out the various departments and what they do, because you will be astounded of how much of an impact we have on your life and you don't even know it. I have my website, my campaign website, which is electSheilaLyons.org.
Well, thank you so much for joining me today for this conversation, and we will talk with you again soon.
I look forward to it, and I thank you so much for having me. And I just want to say thank you to all of you out there who supported both Mark and myself. And you know, stay in touch with us, because we are here for you. We serve you.